And maybe we could build on that. But yeah, where did you want to go next with that, Zach? Because I think this is so good for our guys to hear. Because I mean, maybe if the wellness wheel had more masculine colors, I would identify with it more.
That's
I'm
my
not sure
bad.
about all these pastels, Zach. So
That's my bad.
but I'll go with it. I'll go with it. It's fine.
Next time we'll go with the Terminator wellness wheel for the men out there, and like just really like dark brooding colors, and there'll be some blood on the side of it. Just
a little blood.
Just a little blood, not too much, right? This is a Christian organization.
The wellness wheel is actually just David Goggins' face. And then you like push a button, and then he swears at you.
He just cusses at you. He just tells you how terrible you are as a human being. You're like, you're right, David Goggins. You're right.
Welcome, everyone, to the Lion Counseling Podcast. I'm Mark Odland, founder of Lion Counseling and certified EMDR Therapist.
And I'm Zack Carter, counselor and coach.
And our mission is to help men to break free, to heal deep, and become the lions they were created to be. And today, we're exploring how to reduce screen time to healthy levels by introducing the 8 dimensions of wellness and showing you how to use them to replace the screen time with more meaningful, life-giving activities. Make sure to hang on till the end because we've got some practical ideas for you to put these into action right away. And since you guys are already here, if you don't mind, if you could hit that subscribe button down below, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us to get the word out to more men. All right, let's jump in.
Be the lion you was destined to be. Born ready for the war, now my effort is free. The level's been set, time to wrestle the beast. Testing my G, it's getting heavy indeed. The struggle I embrace now, never retreat. I see the test as a blessing indeed. I'm taking steps on the treacherous peak. Now it's destined to be. I'm on my destiny's feet. Shine with the one piece.
Zach, I thought, well, let me ask you this. For me, watching screen time, like say maybe 22.5 hours a day, that's it within normal limits, right?
We would say 22.3. So you're really close.
Yes.
But
all right.
So you got a little bit of work to do there, Mark.
Okay, I'm kidding. I only let my kids do that all day. No, I'm no. All seriousness, I think. Let's be honest. Even as a therapist, I have gotten sucked in. Philosophically, I get it. Like, it's not good. It's not good for my brain. It's not good for my health. And yet, we've got these billion-dollar companies who are using every psychological and marketing trick in the book to hook us, right? To hook us and to feed us the things that they know will hook us. And I guess I'm just thinking about all the guys listening to this podcast who either are high achievers or want to be, who are on that path. And let's be honest, I think the screen time, I mean, technology can be a blessing, but man, it can also not be good. And so I'm so fascinated to hear about how we can think about this in a different way. Where do we start? Like, I want to kick it to you, Zach, and just kind of get your thoughts on all this.
It's so hard. You know, I grew up on TV. I grew up on video games. And so when I'm like, all right, I'm going to do better about watching TV. I'm going to do better about video games. And I get hooked on YouTube. You know, I don't want to make the YouTube gods angry because we want this video to do well. But yeah, YouTube could be a problem, right? It's like that algorithm sucks you in and it's hard to hop off. So like, what the heck do you do, man? Like, how do you decrease screen time? And so whenever I'm working with clients, whether it's with porn, eating, TV use, whatever unhealthy habit they have, where we start is not a good way to set a goal is not to say like, okay, I'm going to do less of this thing. Like, okay, I'm doing 5 hours of screen time a day. I want to do 4. There's actually a better way to go about it. I'm not saying that's a terrible way to go about it, but I think there's a better way to go about it. And usually it's positive goals. Like, what are you going to replace it with, right? So instead of focusing on the elimination, you're focusing on the replacement. So famously, we've got don't think about the purple elephant example, right? And so like the moment you talk about it, you're thinking about the perfect elephant. So if you're thinking through your day, man, oh, how much time have I been in front of the phone? How much time have I been in front of the screen?
Right.
You're thinking about it, you're tempted to go back. Instead, like, what are you going to do instead? And so when I have clients in front of me, I have a list of the things that we're about to go through, and I'll cover these things with my clients and say like, okay, of these categories, where do you want to start? Like, what would be better in your life? Like, if this is not good for your life, like, what would be better? What do you actually want to do? And that's where we start. And so I figured today we would share these 8 different categories with our audience, and maybe they can begin to think through like, okay, if I want to decrease my screen time, what am I doing instead? So before I show it, Mark, did you have any other thoughts or comments?
Well, the only thing would be, I know we might have some guys out there who are like, how do I decrease my TikTok time but increase my line counseling podcast time? And
that's a good call.
That's a different podcast, and that puts us in a rough spot, Zach, about whether we stick to our principles or not. But
which we won't.
No integrity here.
No,
it's just yeah. No, man. But I was intrigued when I saw the graphics you sent my way with this wellness wheel, and I will not say I'm an expert in the wellness wheel, but I'm familiar with it because my wife Rachel is a wellness coach and a life coach, and so she uses it a lot. And so kind of through her, I've seen it before, and I'm like, man, this just intuitively, it looks like it could be a good thing. It looks like it could make a lot of sense. I'm excited to dive into it with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm pulling it up on the screen right now. Ba-bam. All right, everybody. This is the Wellness Wheel from the Calm app. I definitely didn't just Google Wellness Wheel and download the first thing that looked the prettiest. That's definitely not what just happened. So we're giving the Calm app. I've never used the Calm app.
I was so worried you were going to use the Destruction app. Or the
Destruction app.
Or something. Yeah, the wheel of death or something, and like, I'm glad it's the wellness wheel.
That's right. This podcast is brought to you by Calm, but it's not. Some people are like, that's how they're making their money. Nope. I just found this on the internet. No, but like, there's like lots of examples, and so this one was the most intuitive. And so, I basically, when I'm working with clients, I just like have these categories listed out, and this one looked nice. And so like, let's go through it. Like, what do we have here? So let's start on the right side. On the right side, we have physical. And so physical is things like working out, eating right, sleep, right? So these are the kinds of things that you can replace your screen time by physical activity. Super helpful, super good for your brain, super good for your mental health. We have financial. So these are going to be things like working on your debt, saving for retirement, saving money in general, right? Budgeting. We got spiritual. So these practices are things like prayer, reading your Bible, right? Meditation, these kinds of things. Occupational. So occupational is, how do I further myself in my current career? Or if you hate your career, what are you doing to work on a future career that you could actually enjoy, that you actually care about? Environmental is going to be a couple things. It's your immediate environment. So your home. Is your home messy? Right? Is it clean? Is it safe? Is it dangerous? You then also have getting out into the environment, right? So it's really great on your brain. Gives you serotonin, dopamine, all the good stuff. You go out into nature, you get in the sun. Really, really helps your mental health. Intellectual is learning. Are you spending time learning? Whether it's reading, listening to podcasts like this. Emotional. We've talked a lot about emotions, right? So the emotion wheel, like, hey, what are you feeling? Can we name it to tame it? Are you sharing those emotions with other people to help process? Are you journaling them if you don't have someone else to share it with, right? And so that's emotional. And lastly, we've got social. So social is, do you have a spouse or significant other? Do you have friends? Do you have family you're reaching out to? Are you making a connection? One of my favorite authors around sobriety, especially around pornography, is a guy named Dr. Douglas Weiss. And he has a phrase that I love, that the opposite of addiction is connection, right? So in your life, if you want to improve your life, man, connect, right? So
Yep.
when you look at this wheel and you're working with a client, Mark, and they're like, okay, I want to decrease my screen time. Is there any that stick out to you that's like, ooh, this might be a good place to start? Like, how would you go about talking with the client through it?
Yeah, that's a great question, Zach. I mean, I think a lot of times when guys seek me out for counseling,
Mm-hmm.
they're already doing pretty well off. I mean, that's just some patterns I've recognized.
Mm-hmm.
They might be doing well in a few areas,
Mm-hmm.
but then some other areas have really been put on the back burner, been really
Mm-hmm.
neglected. Like, so maybe there's a guy, he's hitting the gym, he's working out, he's doing pretty well in his business through the ups and downs of the big stressors that inevitably come your way. Um, Maybe doing okay on the financial front, but then there's something that's really neglected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I mean I just look at my own life, and it's like I could be doing well in a lot of areas, but one thing, like if I literally just like, oh, I'm just gonna stay up a little later and knock this out, and then I get 6 hours of sleep instead of 8 or 7.5 for a couple
Mm-hmm.
nights in a row, or I go for a whole week without like going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
everything starts to suffer. I just feel drained. I feel stressed. It's out of balance, and I start to feel it. And and so there is something to be said for kind of having a radical commitment to your own self care, and I think that ties into this somewhat. And I think sometimes a lot of our clients too come to us from a place of faith too. And you think about these passages like love God with all your heart and your soul and your mind and your strength. Um, it's like, okay, that seems like pretty much all of me. All right, just like with everything I am, I'm supposed to love God, love people, do my thing. But I love this wellness wheel because it gets really specific. Like it breaks down these multidimensional, way of thinking about our lives. Because I think sometimes things can be almost too abstract. They can not be specific enough, and so I like how this can be kind of a visual representation of kind of assessing almost like
Mm-hmm.
where am I at. So those are my thoughts initially, Zach. What's coming up for you when as we're talking through this?
Yeah, so it sounds like on your end, you're the one that you pick is kind of the one that they need the most help with, and that sounds like a good place to approach. So for me, it would be probably be similar. I think it is good because to look through these different categories and say, hey, I have certain things I'm doing well in, what I'm not doing well in. And so my tendency with clients is usually to start with the easiest one. So if you've got
Yeah,
5 of the 8 that you're doing well in, but you have 3 things, it's like, all right, dude, like what's the easiest place to start? What would be
yeah,
the easiest? And so if it's like, I'm working hard, but I'm never getting out in nature, it's like, all right, man, well, what the study shows is 15 to 20 minutes in the sun is going to improve your mental health. So can we start by having you take walks 3 days a week for 15 minutes in the sun, right? And
yeah,
so that's kind of where I'm going to go with a client as I'm like looking through the things. Obviously, it's like wherever they prioritize, but maybe this is my bias. I like to start where easy and then get hard. I do know there are some people that like to start hard and then get easy, and so I would talk through with the client like, hey, which
yeah,
way are you? Are you usually start hard, go easy, go
yeah.
downhill, or are you usually start easy, go hard? But my tendency is usually to start with the easy ones and then build that momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, and that gives, I mean, that reminds me a little bit of, we sometimes bring up like Dave Ramsey, with his baby steps. It's like, it's
Mm-hmm.
counterintuitive from a financial perspective that to knock out the smallest debts first, even if they're highest interest rate. But there's this
Mm-hmm.
feeling of knock out the easy stuff, get some momentum, feel some success. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there might be something to that with this wellness wheel too. I mean, it makes me think of what I've learned from my wife Rachel again, who's using this a lot with clients, and she had this beautiful metaphor that she uses where she compares the wellness wheel to like the wheel of a bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
and then within each wheel, she kind of has people plot on a kind of a 0 to 10 scale how good they feel about their health in their different areas, and then like a kid's coloring book, then you connect the dots,
Mm-hmm.
and usually it's not a perfect circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
Mm-hmm.
half circle, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
like dented, and then it's like a smooth, and then it's like jagged.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that metaphor of the bicycle wheel again, if you try to actually use that wheel to ride a bike, you would be going nowhere fast, right? It'd be clunky. It'd be, you'd be crashing, right? So it's this idea of like, man, oh, that's one visual representation of a couple areas where like a quick and easy and kind of fun way to assess, like, what are the, like you said, 2 or 3 areas that I'm struggling in a little bit. And maybe you're going to get to this, Zach, but that idea of not necessarily beating yourself up about it, because deep down you're probably already feeling not so good about it.
Yeah.
But it's saying, what do I want more of in my life, right? And maybe we could build on that. But yeah, where did you want to go next with that, Zach? Because I think this is so good for our guys to hear, because I mean, maybe if the wellness wheel had more masculine colors, I would identify with it more.
That's
I'm
my
not sure
bad.
about all these pastels, Zach. So,
Oh, that's my
but
bad.
I'll go with it. I'll go with it. It's fine. Well,
Next time we'll go with the Terminator wellness wheel for the men out there, and like just really like dark brooding colors, and there'll be some blood on the side of it.
yeah,
Just
a little blood.
just a little blood, not too much, right? This is a Christian organization.
The wellness wheel is actually just David Goggins' face, and then you like push a button, and then he swears at you.
He just cusses at you.
He shames you.
He just tells you how terrible you are as a human being. You're like, you're right, David Goggins. You're right. Yeah, I mean, my main thing with the wellness wheel here is that, like, I mean, it feels pretty self-explanatory, where here are the categories. And so here's my encouragement to people listening out there. Like, it doesn't need, we don't need to get super complicated with this. You see the wheel. You've got the different categories, the 8 categories. My encouragement to you, if you're looking for an action step right now, as we're coming to a close, is pick the area you're struggling in, and then pick the easiest place to start, right? And so sometimes we got to humble ourselves. And so if it's physical and you're like, I've been trying to get into the gym for months, years, it's like, all right, man, humble yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to walk for 15 minutes 3 days a week. If you set that goal for yourself and next week you haven't walked at all, goal was probably too hard. All right.
Yeah.
10 minutes 2 days a week, right? And then if you still don't do it, okay, I'm going to walk outside once for like 5 minutes. If you still don't do it, okay, I'm going to leave my home, get in the sun, turn around and walk back in, right? And at least get the process started. And then improve from there, right? A lot of times where we do is where we start too hard and then quit. We need to do the reverse. We need to start easy and then get harder over time. So pick the category you need to work on, start as easy as possible, and then build over time.
I love that. I love that, Zach. Yeah, I think that's really good practical advice. I mean, it's interesting because I know a lot of our audience, some people are starting from square one and they're new to the mental health space, and other guys have been kind of in this like performance optimization bro science like YouTube world that I sometimes like enjoy listening to as well, right? Like hacks to like perform better, be more optimized, all this stuff. But it can honestly be a little overwhelming at times. There's so much research, so many studies, so many competing voices about what success looks like, what health looks like. If you could take a deep breath, guys, and just be like, all right, I'm just going to check out this like basic idea of a wellness wheel, take an honest look at, what's lacking, what is not quite what I'd like it to be. And with some easy steps, like you said, just, small goals that you can build on, just kind of smoothing out that wheel, making life turn, making life run just a little bit better overall. That can be such a gift, it's going to make you a better dad, better husband, better leader. And, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to stay in the game, right? We're trying to, just imperfect as we might be, we're trying to, once we get knocked down, we get back up and we keep moving forward. And that's something that we can do as men, and just try to be faithful, try to stay in the game. And so I appreciate you sharing all this, Zach. And and guys, if you're listening out there, you could throw in the comments section what you think about the wellness wheel. If you kind of take a look at it and think to yourself, here's an area I need to improve. What's your first step? What would your first step be? And how we can be encouraging you guys, praying for you guys on the sidelines as you're taking these steps. But as always, thanks for listening. And if you haven't subscribed already, we'd really appreciate it. Helps us get the word out to more guys. So unless any of you have any closing thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, and lastly, if you're looking for help with one-on-one counseling or coaching, reach out to us at escapethecagenow.com or in the link in the description box. And so we're here to help. So we appreciate you guys listening this far, and we hope you found it helpful.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, guys.
Everybody. All right, bye.